different stories. We are capable, beautiful. We are born to do great things. We're unstoppable, incredible, 'cause we're differently abled, differently.
The first phase of Kenya Chess Championship for people with disabilities was held last weekend and was attended by many. Take a look.
The first phase of Kenya Chess Championship for people with disabilities was held at Stima Members Club on 28 September 2019, with players competing in different categories.
Initially, Chess Kenya didn't have this department. So being the head of the physically challenged and the special groups, I came up with the idea of organizing the first ever event. And the event is sponsored by Chess Kenya. So I went an extra mile of visiting these schools, starting with 2 schools in Vika, Machakos, other schools in Nyeri. So most of these players, most of them are deaf and they're physically challenged, but few of them have this condition called hemophilia. Others are albinos. Yeah, basically that.
The well-attended event was organized by Chess Kenya Federation President, who got a chance to tell us what prompted him to focus on persons with disabilities.
This is one of the flagship programs that Chess Kenya is introducing to support people living with disabilities. And you will recall some of them cannot play any other sport. Physical sports like football, volleyball, and all other physical sports that you can name. In chess, being the only sport that provides an opportunity for a player, whether you are a child, you can play an old man, whether you are physically challenged, you can play a physically fit person. So generally chess transverses all the cultures and boundaries. So basically for us we felt being a sport that can cut across, we should actually involve and integrate people living with disability in our sport. And you can see a lot of them have a lot of talents.
Immaculate Mwende, a student at Kenyatta University, who is one of the players, explained what made her to participate.
I started playing chess and I joined KU as second year. Yes, this event like the Games Day, Special Needs Games Day, and so you are supposed to join any kind of game that you feel that is suitable for you. And for me, being a student is physically impaired, the only game I thought was best for me is chess. I've really been enjoying it. It really keeps me busy and I'm bored, and we go and do some, we just play the partner. For me, yes, for the movement of hands, I have to do physically for the therapy hands. So when moving the pawns and the knives, that's a kind of a therapy to me. So I do it regularly. Those who are at home with special needs, we don't have to remain at home. There are so many things that you can do outside. Not only education, but also games will really benefit you. There is the talents. So and with talents you can go, it can take you really far. So I encourage them. Let's always fight for our talents and work for them.
Running a successful championship requires determination, commitment, and passion, because there are a lot of challenges that one faces.
Basically, it's resources. We have been seeking sponsorship from various organizations, from various corporate bodies, but most of them, they may not realize particularly what we stand for and what we want to achieve. But with small resources we have, you can see what we have been able to deliver. Some of them are going hungry, can't have anything to eat. They have come from far. But with little we can get, they can have something to fight.
Chess is a game that can be played by persons with disabilities and does not discriminate. Therefore, Frederick campaigns on pushing for chess to be integrated into the education system.
We have introduced various categories of the games. We have the Department for Education, we have also for Special Education, where we have started with the person living with the disability, and we want to check out also on other programs like taking the game to prisons, taking to hospitals, to street children and children homes. So we want to see how we can use this game to empower. For example, when we play this game, we have coaches, trainers who get employed. We have students who are being helped by the actual, because this is a mental game, it is like helps more to actualize STEM, because it strengthens a kid's mind in mostly languages, sciences and other things. So we advocated to be like a STEM subject. And we are appealing to the Minister of Education and the National Olympic Committee, especially the team which is here today, to be incorporated in this game.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Deaf and Hard of Hearing Advocacy Day was held last weekend to sensitize the community on matters concerning hearing impairments. Take a look.
Deaf and Hard of Hearing Advocacy Day was held on the 28th of September with the aim of creating a platform for interaction and awareness about the hearing impaired community.
Now, the rationale of today is basically to advocate and raise our voices for parents, for the community to understand where children with hearing impairment are coming from, the challenges that they are going through, and for us to explore ways of identifying the various solutions that are existing there that can assist these children.
The advocacy was started by a group of parents in search for answers about raising such children. They founded an organization known as Hands and Voices, which brings together parents who have children with special needs, specifically hearing impairment.
An initiative as parents called Hands and Voices Kenya. We have come together as parents who have gone through the same kind of experience with our children, where we discovered that our children were not able to hear, and we sought support from different places and to help our children to be able to fit in the society, to be able to also achieve their developmental stages, even with a hearing loss. And many of us as parents have come up with different ways of helping our children based on the hearing loss.
The group was for a good cause, but for some reason, it took off on a rocky start, prompting them to put it on hold before finally standing on their feet.
We are not dealing with any financial support because we are relatively very new. We have not been able to raise funds to that extent. But what has happened previously, as we have pulled the community and parents together, we have been able to be supported. If you can notice here, we have here the World Foundation. Some children have actually been supported through having hearing aids, and it came in very well, especially for those children. But at this particular moment, we have not. Our interest right now and what we are actually moving towards is creating a support structure for a parent. You can imagine if you walk into the hospital, this is your first child, and somebody tells you, you know what? Your child is deaf, and stops there. You need to have somebody who has gone through the journey, who can share the experience and strengthen you and tell you it's not the end of the world. Your child can live a normal life and fulfilling life like any other child.
Here, children are offered hearing aids and some get cochlear implants for better communication. Not only do they get a chance to interact, but also showcase their talent. For parents, it's always joyful when a child makes progress, no matter how tiny it is.
My firstborn son, who's hearing impaired. So what you're seeing here is a cochlear implant on one side, but he was not deaf completely, but profoundly deaf. So his school's here. He's now trying to acquire speech, although he's 7 years old, so you can imagine how late he is but at least like now you can call out his name, he can cross the road well, he can mumble a few things. So since we came here and he got the implant, things have really changed. He's not the same anymore, and we are going to walk this journey. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen the other kids play. Some are very fluent. You'll see others playing instruments, and they are deaf. They were profoundly deaf. So the word we are trying to push out there is, if you have a kid with such a condition, technology has really advanced now. Things have changed, and with the implants, with hearing aids, you can get your child to talk one day.
But it is not always smiles, as parents of children with special needs face a lot of difficulties due to the responsibility that come along with such.
There are some of us who are using hearing aids, some of us are using cochlear implant, and some of us actually are using sign language. So there are different modes, and they all work depending on the needs of the child, and what works for the child is what we say is the best for the child. Yeah.
Are we able to provide for those solutions, and are we able to rehabilitate? For instance, if a child is using sign language, are they the only ones who are using sign language and the parents don't even understand it? Because we want to create a forum whereby the child does not communicate with sign language or with speech, and the children cannot speak, or the parents cannot support. Number 4 is placement. When we talk about placement, we are talking about schooling. We want to raise awareness in terms of us providing or seeking solutions in terms of where our children are going to school. Are we having the necessary devices, or are we having the support structures? Even if the child is in a deaf school, do we have the necessary support structures to allow that child to grow normally like any other child? And then number 5 is actually to have what we call parent involvement and community support. Because this is a journey you have to make, not as an individual. You make it with your child, you make it with your father, we make it with your mother, we make it with each and every person. For us, we have actually walked the journey and to a point whereby everybody in the community actually understands Wambui and knows Wambui has a hearing, and they will support her in each and every aspect. So that is the rationale of today. We want to raise as much awareness as possible. We want to be the voices. And we have this organ as a Hearts and Voices Kenya, that what the choice you choose for your child, what works for your child, is the best choice. It doesn't matter whether it is sign language, it doesn't matter whether it is hearing aids, it doesn't matter whether it is cochlear. At the end of the day, are we able to enable our children to communicate and fit in within the society?
My name is Julita Wambui Jiguna. I'm 14 years old. I go to St. Christopher's Secondary School. I'm in year 10, and I'm a stage 4 student preparing for the IGC exam in 2021. Play flute, I play recorder, I play piano, sometimes drums and guitar. But I still play piano and flute, most of them, during performances. Like I go to St. Andrew Turi for orchestra. I play also in my school.
'Cause we're differently able.